paranormal history is ripe with cursed objects that supposedly bring bad luck, sickness, poverty, and even death. Haunted items like dolls, skulls, mirrors, furniture, diamonds, and paintings have been reported to be possessed by evil spirits, paranormal beings, and even demons. Owners of these objects have claimed to have seen and experienced extremely creepy things, and in many instances, they've even died under very bizarre circumstances. One of the most famous cursed objects in the world, Annabelle the doll, is a Raggedy Ann doll that, according to self-proclaimed demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren, is possessed by the spirit of a dead girl. The doll supposedly changes positions, writes messages, and brings bad luck and death to its owners. Another allegedly cursed item, a wedding dress, currently rests at a museum in Pennsylvania. The dress belonged to Anna Baker, a young woman from a rich family in the mid-1800s. The story goes that Anna fell in love with a low-class iron worker, but Anna's father forbade the wedding, for which Anna had already bought a dress. Heartbroken and disappointed, Anna decided to remain single for the rest of her life. She died as an old maid in 1914. Since then, visitors to Anna's house, now museum, often report seeing the dress move within the glass box in which it was put on display. One more cursed item you might have heard of is the painting, The Hands That Resist Him. The artwork features the artist as a little boy standing in front of a darkened window and next to a life-size doll of a girl with wavy brown hair and pitch-black eyes. In the window behind the boy are dozens of disembodied hands reaching towards him from the darkness. Sound creepy enough? Well, it gets worse. Since the painting's creation by Bill Stoneham in 1974, 3 people associated with it have died. In 2000, the painting appeared in a listing on eBay. The family selling it wrote a terrifying product description, claiming that a motion-sensitive camera had caught the 2 children inside the painting fighting and even crawling out of the frame. The eBay listing was viewed more than 30,000 times. Some of the viewers even complained to the seller about experiencing supernatural happenings after just visiting the listing. One reported hearing a demonic voice along with a blast of hot air. Another reported that he became sick while viewing the painting and had to burn white sage to cleanse his house afterward. Another claimed blackout/mind control experiences. According to some studies, engaging with superstitious behaviors, like believing in cursed objects, provides a sense of control and reduces anxiety, which is why levels of superstition increase during times of war, economic instability, and social uncertainty. So, does this mean that we can discount all stories of cursed objects as just the result of unstable times? That every supernatural occurrence associated with Annabelle, Anna Baker's dress, and the hands that resist him is actually just unconsciously made up by a frenzied mind? Of course, we can chalk up some of these occurrences to people just wanting attention. Everyone loves to hear a good ghost story, right? But what about the deaths associated with these objects? These aren't just stories, these are real people. Some of the deaths could be brushed aside as mere coincidence, it's true. But how do you explain one haunted object in particular that's brought death to each and every one of its owners in just 3 months or less? That can't just be coincidence or a trick of the mind, can it? This week, join me as we discuss the cursed Basano vase. I'm Jaden McKell, and you're listening to Straight Up Enigmas. everyone, and welcome to the podcast. Before we start today, remember that if you send me a creepy story from your own experience in the form of a 5-star review on Apple Music, I promise to feature it in a special episode full of listener stories. It must be in the form of a 5-star review on iTunes, though. Please show your support for the show by heading to the podcast app between episodes, subscribing, and giving that 5-star review. It may not seem like a big deal, but it really moves the podcast up in the charts so that others can find us. And tell your family and friends about us. Besides giving that 5-star review, spreading straight up enigmas by word of mouth is the best way to help us out. Thanks for your support, everyone. More straight up enigmas right after this.
Hey, this is Heath.
And this is Daphne.
And we're the hosts of Going West, a true crime podcast,
where we discuss various murders, disappearances, and serial killers.
Each week we go into the gory details of a new case.
Like episode 5, which is about Dorothy Jane Scott, a single mother who was receiving threatening phone calls by a stalker and then mysteriously disappeared.
Or the terrifying case of Dayton Leroy Rogers, the most prolific serial killer in Oregon history.
You can find us on our Instagram at Going West Podcast, or check out our website, goingwestpodcast.com.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, and Spotify.
So make sure to check out our episodes and leave a review.
Everybody in the world, keep it real and stay weird.
Cheerio.
Although its origins are shrouded in mystery, and only one picture of the vase exists to this day, we do know some things for sure about it. The Basano vase is made of carved silver and was most likely created in 15th century Italy as a wedding gift for a bride in a northern village close to Napoli. On her wedding night, the new bride was found lying on the floor, dying, and clutching the vase to her chest. With her dying breath, the bride promised to return and seek revenge. Like I said, not much else is known about the vase's origins. It's not clear who the young bride was, how she died, who her new husband was, or where he fits into this whole story. What we do know, however, is that the life of the young Italian bride was the first to be claimed by the cursed Basano vase. After her passing, the vase was handed down from family member to family member, all who died of mysterious circumstances until, eventually, the vase was boxed and hidden in a secret location. The history as to who hid the vase is spotty, but some say it was buried on sacred ground by a priest. Others say it simply disappeared, only to resurface in 1988. According to legend, a piece of parchment paper was found inside the vase with a message reading, "Beware, this vase brings death." The warning was discarded, and the vase quickly sold at an auction for 4 million lira, the unit of currency in Italy, before being replaced by the euro in 1999. The buyer was a local pharmacist, and he owned the vase up until he died mysteriously just 3 months later. His family quickly sold the vase to a prominent surgeon who claimed he didn't believe in curses. He died 2 months later at age 37. Soon after, the vase was sold yet again to an archaeologist who saw the item as a valuable artifact of the High Renaissance. He added the object to his personal collection, and 3 months later, he died of an unknown infection. His family tried to sell the vase, but by then, it had gained a reputation in the small town and was considered bad luck. The family eventually sold the vase, though for much less than the 5 million lira the archaeologist had originally bought it for. This time, it only took 1 month before the curse of the Basano vase claimed the life of its next owner. At that point, all of the townspeople believed in the curse, including the family of the vase's most recent owner. Instead of trying to sell the vase, the family tossed it out a window. The vase is said to have nearly hit a policeman on the head, who gave the man who threw it a fine for disorderly behavior. The man took the ticket but refused to take the vase back, preferring to be arrested instead. The police tried to give the vase to several museums, but they all refused on account of the alleged curse. To date, several newspapers have reported that the local police buried the vase in an undisclosed location, though some sources claim it was put in a lead coffin and buried on the grounds of an ancient cemetery. Let's take a moment to consider 4 theories regarding the Basano vase, assuming the deaths associated with it actually happened. Theory number 1, the vase really is cursed. Theory number 2, every death associated with the Basano vase was just a coincidence and no supernatural force was at play. Theory number 3, the vase's silver surface is laced with some kind of toxic metal like mercury or lead, and it's the poison that caused the deaths. Theory number 4, as mentioned in the cold open, engaging with superstitious behaviors like believing in cursed objects provides a sense of control and reduces anxiety. But is it possible to believe in a curse so strongly that you become paranoid, even more anxious, and even fatally ill? Could at least some of the vase's owners have driven themselves to the point of exhaustion and eventually death trying to avoid the curse? As quoted from one of my all-time favorite films, Penelope, "It's not the power of the curse, it's the power you give the curse." What's your theory surrounding the Basano vase? Find us on Instagram at StraightUpEnigmas or Twitter at StraightEnigmas and let us know. You can also contact us through email at straightupenigmas@gmail.com or through our website, straightupenigmas.home.blog. If you like the show, please remember to hop onto Apple Music and give us a 5-star rating. It really helps the podcast. This episode was written and produced by me, Jaden McKell. The theme music for this episode was provided by Chuck Flyer. Tune in next Tuesday for a brand new episode of Straight Up Enigmas.